Now, art, exhibitions, film and music are the order of the day at this year's edition of the Human Rights Festival, currently taking place at Constitutional Hill in Johannesburg. But beyond the entertainment, the festival seeks to unite NGOs and social justice organizations to create conversations around human rights issues. One of the ways the festival raises these issues is through a number of films that are currently on show at this year's edition. Now, to tell us more about this event, as well as the role that filmmakers play in highlighting human rights issues, is Janine Muthusamy, who is the Marketing and Communication Managers at Constitutional Hill, as well as Film Producer Nhlanhla Ndaba. Very good morning to you both. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Janine, let's start with you with regards to the core roles of this festival in highlighting human rights. What role does film play in promoting these rights?
Film and the creative arts as a general norm play the most significant part in actually taking the plight of human rights causes as well as education on human rights to the public in a way that makes it more relatable and also more sustainable in the long term.
Nhlanhla, you are the producer of I Am Samuel, a documentary that unpacks sexuality and gender. Give us a brief synopsis about this film and what does it aim to achieve?
Just to correct you there, I'm not the producer of the film, but I'm closely associated with the producers of the film.
Okay.
And this film really shows the struggles of two young Kenyan men who were trying, to just live their lives. And it portrays all of the challenges that they're faced with, from family, from community, from the church. And these issues aren't just, confined to Kenya. They are continental issues that the LGBTI plus community faces on a daily basis.
Tell us more about that and the real need to address some of these issues, especially through the medium of film.
It's, we've discovered that it's easier to teach people and to encourage them to change their attitudes when they watch moving images. It's much easier to communicate, those struggles when people actually see them on screen. So we use film as a way and as a tool to actually educate and empower communities all around the country to be able to, accept people as they are, but also to educate them on their constitutional rights of everybody else. People tend to think that the Constitution only applies to them and not to other people. So, we bring in all of these issues through watching a film and then having discussions around these issues that are raised by the film and how they impact on people's rights and people's, chosen or people's way of life.
Janine, this year marks, I understand, the fourth year. Take us through how this festival has grown over the years and what can we expect? Anything different this year?
So it's been in its fourth year now, simply because obviously of the pandemic, which prevented us from hosting the festival in 2020. We had to pivot and be virtual in 2021. However, the most important and critical thing is that this festival utilizes many different options for the public. We have a social forum that talks to hard-hitting debates. Just following on the film that's being discussed today, in fact, at 3 p.m., we have the LGBTQI community actually taking a deep delve into minority rights in South Africa and how do we advance this? How do we fight systemic discrimination? We have a book fair that appeals to various markets from children to adults. We've got a full-on book reading that happens 3 times a day, both for kids and adults. We've also got a very interactive play space that talks to developmental play. That is not just for children, but it's also a way for us to take constitutional education to adults. So the festival has grown over the years. In fact, 2019 was the biggest festival that we have ever hosted. Also to note, this is the only human rights festival in Africa. So Conhill, in its capacity, strives to be a global beacon for South Africa, Africa, and the world. So we hope to grow this. We hope to take the messaging and the mandate from this festival through the country, through the nation, and through the continent.
And my understanding is that one of the missions of this festival is to invoke a sense of community, a sense of camaraderie. Practically, how do you hope to achieve this?
So practically, we do achieve this. Number one, the festival is feed to the public. Number two, we make sure that the engagements that happen to bring all of the NGO and social justice organizations to the forefront so that they're actually able to liaise directly with the public, to interact, to speak on the work that the organizations does, to bring that education, that there's always a facility, there's always help available regardless of the situation or the struggle.
And Nhlanhla, what do you think platforms such as this festival, means for both upcoming as well as established artists?
You know, it's very important that we're able to find spaces and ways to exhibit our films. Film distribution in this country is very, very weak and also very limiting to certain people who have certain privileges. So a festival like this really gives filmmakers an opportunity to be able to showcase their work, and not only that, but to have that important voice, that they're trying to put out there, to be to engage with audiences at the festival, to engage with people who are there, and to get a sense of how people actually react and receive the hard work that they would have put in making those films possible. So it's really an important platform. And it would be absolutely amazing if a platform like this could start, traveling countrywide, so that access to such films are not just limited to the people in urban areas, but actually go out throughout, the country, and especially to rural and semi-rural communities who really don't have the facilities to engage with such content.
It's become a bit of a cliche, but sometimes, and I think it rings true in this regard, though, that artists and filmmakers become the voice of the voiceless, especially with regards to human rights issues as well. Janine Muthusamy as well as Nhlanhla Ndaba, thank you very much indeed for your time. All the very best for the festival.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll have much more during the course of the week with regards to the Human Rights Festival and the main points and the aim and the mission of this festival, important indeed. Let's take a quick break.